And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. The former Marine who held a man in a chokehold on a New York City subway, ultimately leading to his death, has been charged with manslaughter. Daniel Penny is expected to surrender to police tomorrow. Here to talk about the death of 24-year-old Jordan Neely, who is a Michael Jackson impersonator and a homeless individual, is Pastor Dr. Pastor Ruth Ollison, president of the Houston NAACP, Bishop James Dixon, and attorney Eric Dick. Now, this comes after the White House has jumped into the fray, saying there should be a thorough investigation. First of all, Bishop Dixon, when you have the White House interceding or getting involved, it's like then you bring politics into it. Do you feel comfortable with their statement, or is that what they should be doing?
Well, I think, and thank you for having us on that. I think, you know, there have been very minimal times when you see the White House making a statement. I remember President Obama making a statement about some things.
Remember the beer summit? Right. And that became so contentious. So
contentious, right? And of course, when the 9 people were killed in the church in South Carolina, he spoke out about that. But I think that sometimes things are so egregious that it demands a response. In this circumstance, I'm not so sure, to be honest with you. I know he's going there tomorrow for something else, with the campaign. But that aside, this is a tragedy. You got a young man whose life was taken, who's homeless, and the issue at hand is the death of this young guy who was defenseless, and whether or not that was just. I think that's the bigger tragedy, and I think trying to keep politics out of it is important.
Now, Eric Dick, let's take a look at the legal aspect of Daniel Penny. Now, he's been charged with manslaughter. For those who are saying he should have been charged with murder, manslaughter means something specific where it involves intent. So tell us exactly what manslaughter means in this case and why he was charged with this and not first-degree murder or murder in general.
So he could have been charged with murder. So this is manslaughter. It's basically recklessness, kind of like a negligent type of standard. It's kind of the best way to kind of understand it. It's not. It was maybe intentional, but it wasn't actually intentional to kill him. But what's to note is...
And really quick, Eric, let's go over that. When you say manslaughter, it's reckless behavior.
Yes.
But you're not malicious. Your intent is not to murder that person. It's just malicious or reckless behavior where you have gone above and beyond.
Yeah, it's like reckless behavior. It's a second-degree manslaughter with a maximum sentence of 15 years, which basically means they'll settle for 7, they'll serve 3.5. That's what it means. So I actually think the DA, this is the Manhattan DA, who also charged Trump for a first-degree felony. I think they could charge a murder on this because he intended to choke the guy, right?
Period.
It was a malignant heart murder. Yeah. So I think he could be charged with murder on this, but I think the DA has gone soft on it. I think you could make an argument that the DA has gone soft on it.
I would agree.
I think we have to be careful here, though, because it's a tragedy on every single level. This is a young man who'd been arrested 40 times, and our society has not created a place for people like him to get help where he needs it. And so we don't know the whole story. So in a sense, the White House is correct that there needs to be a thorough investigation. But if you're on a public train and if people are being threatened or feel like they're being threatened and someone intervenes, now maybe the intervention, clearly the intervention was too much.
Absolutely.
But we cannot not intervene when people feel threatened. I've had to intervene with some situations. I've had some situations where I'm driving down the street and some guy, you know, puts a trash can at the red light and says, "I want money," and I got kids in the car, and guess what? I'm about to intervene here.
And really quick, let me bring Bishop Dixon and Eric Dick back in here. Do you guys really think it was his intention to murder him, not to subdue him? And really quick, we have like 40 seconds.
Very quickly, I think to Eric Dick's point, this is excessive force. and I think that is clearly intent, not just to constrain, but to also render completely helpless. The man is choked to death, and he held the chokehold for some period of time. I think that is my argument. I think the DA did go soft.
All right, Eric, go ahead.
So I think just put it in front of the grand jury. This grand jury could indict Trump. Why can't they indict this officer who clearly killed this kid for murder?
All right, former Marine. Thank you guys for joining us.
Former Marine.
Yeah.
Big point.
Glad to have you guys here on The Factor.